Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The Flash had another episode, and uh, the one with the '90s, I guess, was the title. Um, yeah, Cisco and Chester get time warped back to the '90s, and so they can do little goofy jokes and stuff. Well, it turns out, in keeping with the different colored lightning bolts that blasted out and created what are they calling her, Fureza or whatever. I thought that was Rampage, or maybe it's one and the same. I don't know. Was one creation of it. Then the purple guy, the purple boogeyman, he was one. So now there's the green lightning bolt. Has given this guy the power to control time, I guess, and he wants to relive his high school years over and over again, um, because he was on the verge of athletic superstardom, but damn, I forget, he had an injury, and now he's, I don't know, a used car salesman or something. I can't even remember. But so he's all bummed out about that. So he just wants to keep reliving it. But Cisco and Chester are there to set things right. So they have a confrontation or whatever. But before all that happened, Chester actually bumps into his father. And you almost have a pretty good scene. You know, it kind of gives you an idea what the show was and what it could be. Even though Chester himself is not that great of a character, you know, trying to make him silly and whatnot and all that. He's just supposed to be another geek that's part of the team, like all the CW superhero shows, except Superman and Lois. He doesn't have a nerd team. It's probably the first one that has it. But which is another reason why it's so much better and feels like a show that should be on another network. But anyway, but this, he almost has a pretty good scene. He meets his father and he's misunderstood. And of course, it's very simple. If you could travel back in time and meet your parents when they were younger, and you would, you know, and you're at the same age or what have you, you'd have more of an understanding of them than you ever did when you were being raised by them. But his father was never at home. He was always working, and he was a brilliant inventor and this sort of thing. And, well, in the conversation, it's a bit forced, of course, but what are you going to do? He reveals that it's not that he was so obsessed with his work and didn't want to bother with being with his son or not. He was doing it all for his son. He said, that's why I'm doing this, and, you know, and all that. Said, oh my God, I never realized. Yeah, because, you know, Chester's kind of stupid. But so there's that. But the rest of the show is dragged down by the same old thing. So Iris and Barry's mom, well, not really his mother, it's the Speed Force, who supposedly had died but is now alive again, and is in the form of his mother. And they talk about Barry and, you know, feelings. Whoa, feelings. And it's the Speed Force. It's not. She's not a human being. She was. Oh my God! I never meant to hurt Barry. Should I take another form? And oh God, it's terrible. And so they just orchestrate the BS soap opera dialogue between the two women because, you know, it's the wife and the mother, even though it's not really the mother. But well, just try to make that dialogue fit, and where they talk about Barry. And then turns out Barry has a security blankie that Iris knows about. Boy, you know, that must have really charmed the marriage, you know. But anyway, that's what he has, I guess, from his mommy. And it makes him feel safe. And, oh, God, it's really awful. The rest of it is them trying to be silly because the time warp effects keeps shifting the other people through time, except they don't really go anywhere. They just change clothes. So Killer Frost is a hippie girl. Caitlin is, I guess, like from the early 90s or some, she had a dumb hairdo. Joe is in a zoot suit. It doesn't matter. It was terrible. And ultimately, Chester almost talks the guy down because he explains his little experience. Something. The guy says, now I know I can control time or something. I don't know. And he disappears, so he'll be a menace later. Anyway, Barry was taking a nap so that he could recover. So there was no Flash in the Flash for this episode. He shows up at the last minute, and it appears the Speed Force, posing as his mother, is going to be smothering him with love, like an overbearing mother. And won't that be fun and hilarious? Despite how creepy and psychotic it all is. Yeah, so there you go. Somehow, some way, I watched another episode of The Flash. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.